So speaking of the holidays, 2 years ago on Thanksgiving Day, so Thanksgiving Day 2022, the leader of one of the world's highest profile car companies made a surprise Thanksgiving Day announcement. He told people who owned his company's cars that as of that day, they no longer had to drive their cars. Starting that day, Thanksgiving Day, the cars would be able to drive.
Tesla crashes are spiraling out of control. People are getting hurt. And now Rachel Maddow reveals how billionaires led by Elon Musk are buying cover-ups. Trump's team wants to kill critical reporting rules that expose these crashes. Let's break this down and follow the money.
Drive themselves from here on out. Quote, Tesla full self-driving beta is now available to anyone in North America who requests it from their car screen, assuming you have bought this option. Congratulations to Tesla Autopilot/AI team on achieving a major milestone. So this is 2 years ago, again, 2022, Thanksgiving Day. Not really any warning this was coming, just, hey, if you bought a Tesla when you had the option when you bought it to pay a little bit extra so it would be capable of driving itself someday, if that day ever came. Well, that day has come. Happy Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving Day. The company CEO put out that announcement. Within a few hours, it had led to some news.
Now at 5, 16 people, including 8 kids, were part of a multi-car crash on the Bay Bridge, causing some major traffic tie-ups.
They say it happened so fast. A chain reaction crash eastbound on the Bay Bridge and inside the Yerba Buena Tunnel.
I thought I was a goner at first when it happened. I mean, you see something like that, it's like coming towards you at full speed. I thought, well, this is it.
So that was Thanksgiving Day 2022. Just a few months later, the news outlet The Intercept obtained video that showed that accident as it happened. It turns out it was a Tesla whose owner says the car was in full self-driving mode and the car just randomly braked super hard in the middle of the tunnel, which is what started that huge pileup of cars.
That's not just a glitch. That's life-threatening failure. But instead of fixing it, Tesla wants this swept under the rug, and now Trump's team is helping them out.
The tunnel, the one that injured all those people.
Until today, we only saw the aftermath of the chain reaction crash last Thanksgiving Day. Drive-by video of cars stacked up in the Yerba Buena Tunnel, eastbound on the Bay Bridge, and a traffic jam that lasted hours. But Bay Bridge surveillance video now shows how it started. A 76-year-old lawyer from San Francisco told the CHP his white 2021 Tesla Model S was in full self-driving mode when it suddenly deployed the brakes. A total of 8 vehicles crashed, 9 people injured, including a 2-year-old boy. Just hours before the crash, Tesla CEO Elon Musk announced the launch of the full self-driving beta version, which he called a major milestone. But there are a growing number of reports of the Tesla technology unexpectedly slamming on the brakes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration assigned a special crash investigation team to look into what happened. They're already investigating dozens of incidents involving advanced driver assistance systems from Volvos, Cadillacs, Hyundai, Genesis, and Cruise, but mostly Tesla.
Mostly Teslas. And, you know, car crashes happen. We humans aren't all that great at avoiding the problem of hurting and killing ourselves and each other with our cars. Car crashes are a plague. And who among us can say whether robots might be better at driving than us overall, writ large? But in a country with more than 280 million cars and trucks on the road, clearly it's worth studying if we're going to make this change, right? It's worth studying whether letting robots drive our cars is going to be more or less safe than having us humans drive the cars. Well, the U.S. government is doing that studying. You saw a reference in that news report there to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration looking into that particular crash and others like it. Well, the year before that big Thanksgiving Day crash in the Bay Area, that government agency started a program where car companies have to report when crashes happen while a car has been in autopilot or in full self-driving mode. They have to tell the government when that happens. So that means crashes like that one that happened in the tunnel in 2022 in the San Francisco Bay Area. Also from this other terrible crash that was right nearby in Contra Costa County in California the following year. This was a fire truck that got slammed into at speed by a Tesla that was on autopilot. The Tesla driver was killed. 4 firefighters were sent to the hospital in that crash. Earlier this year, the agency released its report on its findings after collecting all of this data for several years. It led to headlines like this, quote, Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving linked to hundreds of crashes and dozens of deaths. Government report described the data about these hundreds of crashes, but it also gave the specific details of some of them, including one particularly harrowing one from North Carolina. A 10th grader stepped off of a school bus. The school bus was doing everything right. It was pulled over. It had its lights flashing, had all the warning signals that a school bus activates when it's letting off students to let everybody know around there that they need to stop. School bus was doing everything right. The kid was doing everything right. But a 2022 Model Y Tesla on autopilot mode nevertheless whipped around the stopped school bus and slammed into this kid, this 10th grader, who had to be medevaced to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. By the time that government report was issued, not only had individual crashes like that received a lot of local attention in the areas where they happened, but the overall problem was starting to come into focus. Reuters, for example, had already reported that a criminal investigation into these matters was underway targeting Tesla. Tesla had already disclosed in an SEC filing that it had received federal subpoenas for information about its full self-driving mode and its autopilot mode. Then just a few weeks ago, the government announced the opening of a formal federal investigation of Tesla's full self-driving mode in more than 2 million Teslas, more than 2 million cars. And that's a big deal. But you might have noticed that I said that report happened a few weeks ago. To be specific, the announcement of that federal investigation, that big, potentially very consequential federal investigation, the announcement of that happened in mid-October. What's happened between mid-October and now? Since then, you might have seen that Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, has basically had himself surgically attached to Donald Trump's body. I mean, seriously, are they stitched together? Can either one of them get dressed alone at this point? And of course, Donald Trump won the presidential election last month. And so what happens now to anybody who is unsettled by the idea of a robot-controlled car driving itself into a nearby fire engine full of firefighters? Or a robot-controlled car slamming on its brakes without warning in the middle of a crowded tunnel full of cars going 55 miles an hour while people are all driving to go see family on Thanksgiving Day? What happens to anybody who might have those kinds of concerns? Reuters headline, quote, exclusive. Trump team wants to scrap car crash reporting rule. The Trump transition has apparently surveyed the...
This isn't about excessive data collection. It's about hiding failures and shielding billionaires from accountability. You can't regulate safety if you're not even allowed to track the crashes.
Landscape of public policy in the United States of America, and has decided, you know what really needs to go? What needs to go as a matter of priority is this thing that we've had for a few years now, where car companies have to report it when their car is on autopilot and it crashes into something. That's the new priority, apparently. Quote, the Trump transition team wants the incoming administration to drop a car crash reporting requirement opposed by Elon Musk's Tesla, a move that could cripple the government's ability to investigate and regulate the safety of vehicles with automated driving systems. Musk, the world's richest person, spent more than $250 million helping Trump get elected president in November. Removing the crash disclosure provision would particularly benefit Tesla, which has reported most of the crashes, more than 1,500 of them, to federal safety regulators under this program. Tesla has been targeted in National Highway Traffic Safety Administration investigations, including 3 stemming from this specific data. Now, what is the purported justification for getting rid of this rule and getting rid of it now? I mean, they can't just say, well, you know, this guy paid for the presidential election. Therefore, he kind of bought himself a government, and so he gets what he wants, right? You can't really just say that. Hey, you kids getting off school buses, watch yourself. Unless and until you can start paying for your own president, you're fair game on the side of the road. I mean, you can't say it that way. So how do you? They have to say something that sounds better than that. Well, this is what they came up with. Quote, the recommendation to kill the crash reporting rule came from a transition team tasked with producing a 100-day strategy for automotive policy. The group called the measure a mandate for, quote, excessive data collection. Oh, excessive data collection. That's the problem that needs to be addressed here in this photo. Excessive data collection. We have way too much data. Our thumb drives are all full. If we keep collecting all this data about self-driving cars killing people, eventually our phones will slow down or something. Too much data, clogging everything up. Excessive data collection. Quote, a Reuters analysis of the NHTSA crash data shows Tesla accounted for 40 out of the 45 crashes reported to the agency.
Think about that. 40 out of 45. If Tesla's self-driving cars are causing the most harm, why is Trump's administration making it easier for them to hide the data? Follow the money, and you'll see exactly why.
Through October 15th. 40 out of the 45 fatal incidents reported. That sounds bad if you're Tesla, right? If you're Tesla, better to not have people ever hear numbers like that. Therefore, don't collect the numbers anymore. Stop collecting all this excessive data. Problem solved. Problem solved for Tesla and for Elon Musk. Problem not solved for the Contra Costa County firefighters who were in that truck. Problem not solved for the 8 kids in the giant smash up in the Thanksgiving Day tunnel crash. Problem not solved for the 10th grader medevac to the hospital.
This isn't just about Tesla. It's about how billionaires buy influence to escape scrutiny. Whether it's safety laws, worker rights, or taxes, the elite play by their own rules while we deal with the consequences.
In North Carolina after stepping off the school bus that the Tesla slammed into, right? Problem not solved for them, but it is solved for the billionaire. I should note that this reporting from Reuters is based on a document that Reuters saw. We haven't seen the document ourselves. We have also reached out to Tesla and to the Trump transition for comment. So far, we have not heard back. I'll let you know.
Tesla crashes are increasing, and billionaires like Elon Musk are using their influence to bury the truth. The Trump transition's move to scrap safety reporting rules isn't just corrupt, it's dangerous. If you're tired of billionaires buying their way out of accountability, smash that subscribe button. Drop expose the cover-up in the comments if you want more truth bombs like this. Stay sharp, stay critical, and let's keep exposing the system. Peace out.